Kill Bill was meant to be one epic film. While the whole bloody affair clocking in at 215 minutes, it was inevitably chopped down into 2 volumes. So we may as well take advantage of that and pit them against each other. While a clear arc joins the 2 volumes and share the same characters, themes, and motivations, they are indeed distinct. Volume 1 has far more action, while Volume 2 heightens the dramatics.
Annie, you're pregnant. I overreacted.
Volume 1 has almost no Bill, while Volume 2 gives David Carradine an all-time performance. Volume 1 has a Cool of Steel heroine who stands as one of the greatest action heroes ever, while actually, Uma crushes it in Volume 2, too. Let's sharpen our Hattori Hanzo and gas up the pussy wagon as we get ready for Face Off.
Disclaimer. No actual science was used to determine the outcome of Face Off. Your results may vary. Please do not consume Face Off if you are allergic to conjecture, opinion, or general nonsense.
Round 1, here comes the bride. AKA Beatrix Kiddo is one of the most badass characters in modern movies. A creation that goes back to the making of Pulp Fiction, when Quentin Tarantino and Uma Thurman, that is Q and U, concocted her over $5 milkshakes.
Did you just order a $5 shake?
Mm-hmm.
In Volume 1, we first see the bride bloodied and beaten, focused in an extreme close-up, panting as the unseen Bill hovers over her. Before she can complete her first sentence, she's shot and presumably killed, although she only went into a coma, which will be bad news for Bill. Hospitalized, the bride takes out the that tried to and did rape her, steals the famed pussy wagon, heads off to Japan, and checks the first name off her hit, or rather slice list, o-ren, a member of the deadly Viper assassination squad. More on them later. She then travels back to the United States and takes out victim number 2, Vernita Green. Volume 2 chronologically finds the bride studying under Master Pai Mei, where she'll learn a few special tricks that'll help her out of a jam, well, a coffin at least. Following that, it's her wedding day, and it's all church bells until she's barraged by the divas who turn into what would be known as the Massacre at Two Pines. The movie takes a huge timeline jump. We already saw her remove half of Ren's dome and kill Vernita in front of her daughter.
Your mother had it coming.
Volume 3, anyone? Tracking down assassin-turned-boozer Bud in his trailer, who promptly shoots her. After escaping from the coffin, the bride reemerges, filthy and ready to tango with El Driver, plucking out her last eyeball. We finally get the bride in full mom mode, protecting her cub Bibi and making sure all is right in the jungle by killing Bill. The bride's roaring rampage of revenge is at the forefront of the whole bloody affair, but there is a lot of emotion under that Bruce Lee-inspired jumpsuit as well, and both volumes handle not just the action, there's far less in Volume 2, but the stakes of it all. Forget the list, the bride is determined in every other challenge that gets in her way. When the bride needs to wiggle her toe, you damn well better believe she'll wiggle it through a Tarantino gaze, of course.
I want to thank my co-stars, Margaret Qualley's feet, Dakota Fanning's feet.
And if she wants to get out of Paula Schultz's coffin, she will. The emotions are high in both, with one of the most human performances in any action movie ever. Watch in Volume 1, where she learns she lost her baby, or in Volume 2, when she discovers Bibi is in fact alive. And you can see the depth Uma Thurman brings to the bride. The film's original whole bloody affair form keeps it consistent and gets the best of the opening round. Verdict, tie. Round 2, the kills, Bill. This category was going to be titled action, but considering the House of Blue Leaves sequence is one of the best choreographed such sequences in movie history, and Volume 2 is relatively light on it compared to Volume 1, at least we'll redirect. So let's see which kills slay the most. On her quest to cross every name off the death list 5, the bride nabs 2 in Volume 1, Vernita Green and o-ren, along with a couple of hicks in the hospital, 88 crazy killers, and a deceptive schoolgirl bodyguard. In Volume 2, she checks just 1 off the remaining 3, Bill. Bud is offed by Elle, while Elle herself is never seen dying and presumably lives, since you can't die from going blind. The Volume 1 kills are explosive and diverse. Vernita gets a knife through the chest in the kitchen, o-ren has her brain exposed in the falling snow. Go-Go gets nailed through the temple, and the Crazy 88 basically renamed the joint the House of Red Leaves. Volume 2's key death, meanwhile, Bill's, is pretty anticlimactic. They even tease a grand showdown at dawn, but it also works in its own way. As sure as Vernita's daughter will get her own revenge, that is QT's 10th and final fight, right? Verdict, Volume 1. Round 3, Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. Well, both Volume 1 and Volume 2 give us tastes of each of the members of the Fox Force 5.
The Japanese fox was a kung fu master. The black girl was a demolition expert.
Oh, me mean the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad each gets their time in the spotlight as the bride goes down her list. First, let's meet the squad, shall we? There's Vernita Green, codename Copperhead. o-ren Ishii, codename Cottonmouth. L. Driver, codename California Mountain Snake. Bud, codename Sidewinder. And of course, Bill, codename Snake Charmer. Each is introduced in one way or another in Volume 1, although Bill goes unseen, only heard, just like his gun. Rightly so, each volume gives proper screen time to whoever is killed by the bride in that movie. For example, Vernita Green and o-ren have true showcases in Volume 1, the movies in which they get a knife through the chest and half of their head removed, respectively. On the flip side, L. Driver and Bud and Bill have their best moments in Volume 2 because that's when they become true targets of the bride. That Bud is actually killed by a snake courtesy of L, and that L never even dies are still sore points. Step it up, Beatrix. Volume 2 has a couple of advantages. For starters, the opening sequence, dubbed The Massacre at Two Pines, shows the true danger the Divas has when working together. It also has the edge by finally incorporating Bill, who is a looming, unseen figure in Volume 1, heightening the tension of the films as a whole. For this round, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet as we give it to Volume 2. Round 4, the finale. After being split into two parts, Kill Bill had to end its first volume right to hold fans over until the following year, and it did just that with a stellarly executed cliffhanger that captures so much in 90 seconds. The bride en route to Japan makes her list as Hattori Hanzo in voiceover warns of the dangers of revenge. We then see Bud, who considers
that woman deserves her revenge,
and we deserve to die. Then Elle, who insists
She must suffer to her last breath.
Before a vision of the fateful day that opens the film, and then the final reveal with Bill wondering, is she aware that her daughter is still alive? Cut to credits, the lonely shepherd playing. Volume 2 could really only end in one way. The bride kills Bill and saves Bibi, and that's exactly how it ends. It's not a disappointment, it's just a logical narrative conclusion. The final scene after Bill slumps dead in the grass sees Beatrix and Bibi together safely smiling as Malagueña Celerosa is performed by Robert Rodriguez's band Chingon. It begins to play over the credits, and that's it. All is right in the jungle, but the ending just doesn't have the same impact as Volume 1. For this round, we're saying goodnight moon to Volume 2. Verdict, Volume 1. Round 5. Forget it, Quentin. It's Chinatown and Japan 2. For the fifth and final round, which seems fitting since that's how many victims were on the bride's list, we'll look at the various influences on Kill Bill, chiefly the Chinese and Japanese cinema that played a major role in developing pretty much all that came before this round. Obviously, since Kill Bill was conceived as one epic film, the DNA of both Chinese and Japanese cinema is woven through the broken apart Volume 1 and 2, and so, Volume 1 drew some major influence from Chinese martial arts movies like Five Fingers of Death, itself borrowing the siren-wailing Ironside theme by Quincy Jones, Master of the Flying Guillotine, Go-Go's Mace Much, and The Five Venoms, clearly an influence on the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. Volume 2 also takes some Chinese influence, most notably in the use of the character's Pei Mei, a reoccurring one in many Hong Kong films, but it's Japan that has the most obvious influence over the films. Lady Snowblood has a pivotal and obvious role through character and structure. o-ren is clearly modeled after the title character, while Tarantino borrowed the chapter title Divisions as well. Volume 1 also has some battle royale with its star Chiaki Kiriyama playing Gogo Yubari, Goki Body Snatcher from Hell, visuals directly inspired by the use of Battle Without Honor or Humanity, which is from the same movie, and numerous tie-ins to the Crazy 88 and the House of Blue Leaves. As Volume 1 is far more action-heavy than Volume 2, the martial arts movies of China and Japan take far more precedent. Sure, Beatrix and Bibi watch Shogun Assassin, the Bride L duel is lifted from War of the Gargantuas, and the 5-point palm-exploding heart technique does have its roots in Asian cinema, but Volume 1 is baked far more in the homages. As such, we dish our final round out to Volume 1. Winner, Kill Bill Volume 1. The competition was as sharp as a Hattori Hanzo sword, but the first volume of Quentin Tarantino's epic Kill Bill saga gets the edge through epic and over-the-top kills, a tingling cliffhanger ending that brilliantly sets the stage for its sequel, and honorable homages to its Asian influences. But not everyone will agree, so where do you stand? Are you taking on the Crazy 88 in Japan, or setting off for Mexico to Kill Bill? Let us know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.